I still don't understand how it happened. If it was real or if it was a dream. I just remember it was late and I was resting on my favorite couch with a book in my hand. Tiredness came over me and I began to fall asleep. In that place, between wakefulness and dreams, I found myself in the room. There were no distinguishing features except for the wall covered with small index card files. They were like the ones in libraries that list titles by author or subject in alphabetical order. But these files, which stretched from floor to ceiling and seemingly endless in either direction, had very different headings. As I drew near the wall of files, the first to catch my attention was one that read, "Boys I have liked." I opened it and began flipping through the cards. I quickly checked to realize that I recognized the names written on each one. And then, without being told, I knew exactly where I was. This lifeless room with its small files was a crude catalog system for my life. Here were written the actions of my every moment, big and small, in a detail my memory couldn't match. A sense of wonder and curiosity coupled with horror stirred within me as I began randomly opening files and exploring their content. Some brought joy and sweet memories, others a sense of shame and regret so intense that I would look over my shoulder to see if anyone was watching. A file named Friends was next to one marked Friends I Have Betrayed. Some of the titles were Books I Have Read, Lies I Have Told, Comfort I Have Given, Jokes I Have laughed at, Things I Have yelled at my brothers, Things I have done in my anger, Things I have muttered under my breath at my parents. I never ceased to be surprised by the contents. Often there were many more cards than I expected, sometimes fewer than I hoped. I was overwhelmed by the sheer volume of the life I have lived. Couldn't be possible that I'd have that time in my years to fill each of these thousands or ever millions of cards. But each card confirmed the truth. Each was written in my own handwriting, each signed with my signature. When I pull out the file marked TV shows I have watched, I realized the files grew to contain their contents. The cards were packed tightly, and yet after 2 or 3 more jars, I hadn't found the end of the file. I checked, no some judged by the quality of Joe's, but more by the past time I knew that the fire represented. And when I came to a fire-marked, lustful thoughts, I felt a giant run through my body. I pulled the file out only an inch, not willing to test its size, and drew out a card. I shuddered and its detailed content. I felt sick to think that such a moment can be recorded. One thought dominated my mind. No one must see these scars. No one must ever see this room. I have to destroy them. In insane frenzy, I yanked the file out. Its size didn't matter now. I had to empty it and burn the cards. But as I took it at one end and began pounding it on the floor, I could not dislodge a single card. I became desperate and pulled out a card, only to find it as strong as steel when I tried to tear it. Defeated and utterly helpless, I returned the file to its slot, leaning my forehead against the wall. I let out a long, self-pitying sigh, and then I saw it. The title board. People I have shared the gospel with. The candle was brighter than those around it. New were almost unused. I pulled on its handle, and a small box not more than 3 inches long fell into my hands. I could count the cards it contained on one hand, and then the tears came. I began to weep, so deep that they hurt. They stuttered in our stomachs, and I choked through me. I fell on all my knees and cried. I tried out of the chain, from the overwhelmed chain of it all. The rows of file chairs swirled in my tear-filled eyes. No one must ever know of this room. I must lock it up and pickle the key. But then, as I push away the tears, I saw him. No! Please, not him! Not here! Oh, anyone but Jesus! I watched helplessly as he began to open the files and read the cards. I couldn't bear to watch his response, and in the moments I could bring myself to look at his face, I saw a sorrow deeper than my own. He seemed to know how to get to the worst boxes. Why did he have to read everyone? Finally, he turned and looked at me from across He looked at me with pity in his eyes, but this was a pity that didn't anger me. I dropped my head, covered my face with my hands, and began to cry again. He walked over and put his arm around me. He could have said so many things, but he didn't say a word. There he was quietly standing beside me. This was the day when Jesus kept quiet and cried with me. Then he got up and walked back to the wall of files, starting at one end of the room. He took out a file and one by one began to sign his name over mine on each card. No! I shouted, rushing to him. All I could find to say was, "No, Jesus, please don't do it." As I pulled the card from him, his name shouldn't be on these cards, but there it was, written in red, so rich, so dark, so alive. The name of Jesus covered my name. It was written with his blood. He gently took the card back. He smiled, a sad smile, and began to sign the cards. I don't think I'll ever understand how he did it so quickly. But the next time it seemed, I heard him close the last file and walk back to my side. He placed his hand on my shoulder and he said, "It is finished." I stood up and he led me out of the room. There was no lock on its door. There were still cards to be written. I still don't know if it was a dream, a vision, or reality. But what I am convinced of is the next time when Jesus comes back to this room, he will